Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about my picks for the top 10 basketball shoes from Chinese brands. This is actually a packed list. So many great performers as some of these brands continue to glow up. All of them are new additions since the last time I did this video. All are currently available as we speak. I'll leave some links in the description for you to check them out. Should be right around Chinese New Year by the time I upload this. So here wishing you good health, great fortune, and loads of shoes this year of the snake. These brands, some of them are eating. They're signing more and more NBA players, some big names including Jokic, Kyrie, Jimmy Butler. Anyways, let's get right into it before I give out the whole list. Starting off at number 10, I have the EQLZ 247. Technically an up-and-coming brand. This right here is the product that gained them a lot of exposure, designed by Aaron Cooper. Simply put, what seems like potential bright spots based on the images all turned out to be pretty good. The sole collar is stretchy, material on the knit upper feels sturdy, and even though ventilation isn't the best, there is some cooling effect on top of your feet. Please keep in mind that the shoe does feel bottom heavy. Traction is excellent. The pressure mat pattern comes with a super effective grip. Same applies to their other shoe, the 360. Yeah, EQLZ offers a very different vibe compared to the other major Chinese brands. Their design language is unique, futuristic, while functionality is solid. The two newer Nebula colorways come in a silver colored trim. They look gorgeous to me. Next up, these guys did really well for me across the board, but till this day, I still experience the same issue, which limits its ranking at number 9, and that is the AG5. This is the 5th signature shoe of Aaron Gordon by 361 Degrees. That issue I was talking about is the cheap material. Not a surprise coming from this brand. I've used some of their products since their Kevin Love days. More often than not, you get a plasticky upper that may cause some pinching or discomfort. It's unfortunate because aside from me hearing a squeak every time I transition from front to back, like whenever the shoe bends, the AG5 is nearly perfect. Pretty bouncy, excellent traction, secure lockdown, and decent support. You'll be high off the ground, but it's definitely not unstable or too shaky. Overall, some very dynamic effect on feet. Feels quicker than the EQLZs, which is why I have it one spot higher. I don't know if the other colorways would be better, but here I would just take some points off for its material. Other aspects, all good. At number 8 is a super popular shoe, for a good reason, the Anta Kai1. Kyrie's first signature shoe with the brand after he left Nike. Anta basketball shoes have almost always been safe for me. Certainly the case here too with the Kai1. Cushion with their nitrogen foam is more than solid. Shock absorption is top tier, so you can land safely. Compared to the Kai1 Speed, the alternative model, the midsole feels softer. Traction takes more time to break in, and it really doesn't squeak much. But once you put enough mileage in these, the performance will keep improving to reach your desired level. That was what I concluded after all this time. Ever since the Kyrie signing, Anta's presence in North America skyrocketed. The Kai1 Speed, I could easily spot them on the shelves at like Foot Locker and some other retailer stores. He's got a budget model with them too, the Kai1 Team. Okay, so here's where the tricky part begins. For the next spot, I originally had the All City 13 at number 7, but that's more so with the first two colorways in mind. Personally, I do think the newest colorways that they released, the upper makes more sense and it is more breathable, so I might have to up the ranking a little bit. Long story short, it depends on the colorway, but the new All City from Wade is an amazing performer regardless. Biggest reason, traction is really good. This time they gave us half GCU, half regular rubber. Sounds like they could have been more generous, but the way it gripped for me against dust is 100% good enough already. Squeaky, yes. Dust pickup was manageable. I was able to get to a consistent hard stop across the different pairs. Full length boom as usual. The midsole is pretty caged up, but on the inside you can still get quite a foamy effect. The extra lace holes, I don't think they're completely necessary, but it is there as an option, I guess. Orange pair feels a tiny bit faster on feet somehow, and the upper is just clean and crisp. Widthwise, they run slightly narrow. If I have to point out downsides, be aware of heel slippage. So even if you normally size up with wave shoes, I would suggest going true to size here. No need to size up, especially if you like to avoid heel slippage. The lounge colorways, Green Stingray and Red Stingray, I like to describe them as crispy on the outside, soft and tender on the inside. But the newest ones are just straightforward and they don't crease as much. The next one, I'll make it short because you've probably seen me talking about these a ton. Wave Weight 11. One of the bounciest hoop shoes out there on the market. Just for that reason alone, it deserves to be on a lot of top lists. The carbon fiber plate is sandwiched in between boom, a brilliant way to add more springiness to your steps, while also keeping how loaded it feels underneath. Plus, it uses their GCU also entirely. Fantastic stop every time down the floor. Support and lockdown are top notch too, and the main drawback is breathability. I could feel my feet heating up inside after a while. That pretty much summarizes my experience with the Wild 11. Bouncy, supportive, and grippy, but not very breathable. Also nasty pricing at $225. Alright, moving into the top 5 now. This is another shoe that continues to impress me with more playing time. But don't get me wrong, right off the bat it was elite to begin with. The Anta KT10. This is Klay Thompson's 10th signature shoe, possibly the best one off his line. Nothing unique as far as the design goes, but everything that you want from a hoop shoe is guaranteed here on the KT10. 10 out of 10 trashes. I give it a perfect score. Cushion is essentially similar to the Kai 1, but they feel bouncier. Plated up, yes. Carbon fiber too. This pink pair is very loud on the court. Certainly pops out there. The midsole adds quite a bit of height as well. So maybe court feel isn't ideal for some players, but that just depends on your preference. For a very low to the ground shoe, no. But otherwise, this was just a joy to play in. The outsole and midsole both have elite status. Coming in at number 4, I have the Big 3 5.0 Quick Pro from 361 Degrees. Maybe the most affordable option on this list. Well, depending on where you are, but they are on sale in many places. They made a lot of dope mismatching colorways. Enough bounce on some pairs that also is split into 2 halves between solid rubber and translucent. That didn't cause any major issues. It was consistent for me. Remember I said 361 material usually sucks. Not the case here. The Quick Pro is an exception because not only is it not too plasticky, it even feels pretty soft and plush, especially on the interior. It's well padded actually. Let's say you find a pair at around 100 bucks or even below. That is delicious. In many cases, I think you'd rather spend less or even stock up on 2 pairs of these than paying for a disgusting price to get an expensive one. They run true to size, like very true to your true size, your Nike true size. So you also don't bear the risk of getting a wrong size that doesn't fit. At number 3, this spot belongs to none other than the new Lirens. I have the Liren 5 Low. High top and low top came out together this time. So I don't know if they'll still do a V2, because previously the V2 was just a low cut version. Anyways, without any exaggeration, this is probably the bounciest low top shoe I've ever had. The midsole construction with the cutoff design works just like the Jordan 36 Low, but unlike those, the Liren 5 does not cause any pinching or pinky toe problems. It is narrower than average, but tolerable for me as someone who has slightly wider feet and extremely flat feet. On the front end, boom is loaded onto the jump plate, so you get a nice push propelling you forward and upward. On the back, you get a lot of compression and bounce back in the heel. All of these come from a super lightweight low top, only about 355 grams for size 10.5. Traction is safe. A lot of these Chinese brands, I don't know what they do. It's like how they drizzle some extra olive oil on top of your dish when you're dining in, because the rubber usually feels amazing right out of the box. This colorway that I have, the stitchings already fell off in some parts. So I'd be more concerned about material durability instead of outsole durability. The Tough RB is good to go for outdoor use. At second place, this is the only shoe that I haven't done a separate video on yet. But if you saw my Instagram post or story, man, ever since the first time, I've been impressed. Actually, I'll go as far as saying I've never been this impressed by a pair of basketball shoes, ever. I didn't even mention the name. Ultralight 2025. Fred VanVleet has been wearing this shoe a lot. Here's a cold hard fact. 284 grams for size 10.5. That's insane. Lighter than any other pair of basketball shoes that I have Yes, that includes the Gammas, previously the lightest shoe ever. Also the Lirens that we just talked about. The reason I have it one spot higher than the Lirens, these fit wider and work for more types of foot shapes, believe it or not. It also requires a less amount of break-in time. Playing in these, it really feels like I wasn't wearing anything on feet. Usually I'd be concerned about that. I prefer lightweight, but below 300 grams is unheard of in my size. That could mean it's too shaky. Lateral containment might suck. None of those were particularly concerning based on my experience. Cushion is not bad at all either. Super boom is actually deliciousness. Still glazing this as we speak. I think this is the perfect exemplification of why Li-Ning is leading the market. Stuff like this that are innovative but highly functional at the same time. Price is like less than half of the Gamma, which were pretty uncomfortable to me. I choose to buy the Ultralight 2025 any day of the week. Now, in my opinion, the best performing basketball shoe from a Chinese brand as of now in 2025 is the Li-Ning JB3, Jimmy Butler's third signature shoe. Putting his recent drama aside, he's their top athlete signed as of now. So Li-Ning usually loads all their best and most innovative stuff onto the JB line. Compared to the JB1 and 2, traction on the 3 is just so much better. Finally, no more of that foam also. GCU this time. This was almost a flawless experience for me on a dusty court. Never had an issue anywhere I played. The upper feels like the right blend. Not a tumble leather that creases easily, but also not too stiff. The toe box area features these stitching lines crossing each other. That increases flexibility around there and also has a nice cooling effect based on my experience. Fully armored up. Boom, carbon fiber, Cloud Plus outer shell and all that, but the step-in comfort is also incredible. I get asked a lot about these versus the Waveway 11. Fair enough. A lot of similarities between these two, but if I have to pick one, if you like a little bit more mobility with less restriction on your movements, I should say, JB3 dominates most other comparisons too, really. For honorable mentions, I saved some for the end here. DVD2 arguably had the top traction performance last year. If not the best, it's top 3 at least. I do wish the shoe is softer in general. It can be a little bit too stiff, depending on your preference. EQLZ 360, we mentioned that briefly. A bold design that did work. Then the Kaiwan speed is also pretty good. It really does give you better speed compared to the Kaiwan, even though its cushion, impact protection, and comfort level trail behind the Kaiwan. On Waveway is still making more colorways for possibly their best product ever, the Waveway 10 and Waveway 10 Low. They should always be in the conversation for the best releases made by Chinese brands. So that concludes my list for the top 10 basketball shoes from Chinese brands. We recently had a wave of amazing releases, including the Ultralight 2025. That was the most surprising and impressive one. JB3 is a perfect all-around shoe. Liren 5 Low, the bounciest low top I've ever had. Anta's best performer goes to the KT10, and for an affordable gem, I would still strongly recommend the Big 3 5.0 Quick Pro from 361 degrees. Those were my top 5 basically. If you have any other suggestions for us, or if there's a shoe that did really well for you that I missed out on, please drop them down in the comments. Feel free to share your favorite hoop shoe from a Chinese brand, any of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.